friend, welcome to Spellbound Homestead. My name is Taylor. This is where Laura Ingalls meets Morticia Adams, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today is a cool, dreary spring day. I thought this is the perfect time to grab a blanket and talk about all things Halloween and Code Orange season 2025. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and grab your cup of coffee, tea, or beverage of choice, and let's chat about it. I've made videos like this in the past before where I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks on helping us navigate the Code Orange season. I know it's early, I know it's May, but typically we start seeing Halloween start coming on shelves between June and July, and I like to get these videos out fairly early so that way we have these ideas, tips and tricks in the back of our mind to kind of help us navigate that season, which is quickly approaching. Be sure to leave those previous videos down in the description box in case you're interested. Some of these tips and tricks may be repeats, but I think that they're still worth re-talking about and refreshing our memory as we go into this Code Orange season. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. The tip I have is to shop off season. This is a great way to get some deep savings and deep discounts is by shopping off season. For example, I just got some things from Unique Vintage recently that were deeply discounted. They're Halloween outfits, and so shopping off season helps us get those deals and steals whenever it's not the Halloween season. Typically, we often see that some of these things that they're sharing on their websites can be repeats from things that they've had in the past, and so now is a great time to get them while they're on sale. It is going to be garage sale season, yard sale season this summer, and everybody's trying to get rid of their stuff. Everybody wants it out of their hair, and by doing that, we often find seasonal decor in the mix of the chaos that is a yard sale, and so that is a great way to find some Halloween decorations that are deeply discounted. Thrifting and flipping is another great thing to do. I love going to antique malls and antique stores and finding those vintage Halloween decorations, or sometimes I can find little knickknacks I like to pick up and then flip them by redecorating them or repurposing them. So thrifting and flipping is another great way to enjoy the Halloween season on a budget. Speaking of budgets, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. With Halloween season, there is the tendency for overconsumption. I have found myself guilty of this either by participating in it myself or by watching others and feeling the need to over consume and buy things that I really honestly don't need. So I like to try to set up a budget or an allowance to try to keep that in mind whenever Halloween season comes. That way I don't totally blow the budget for new decorations and things like that. Budget, we need to be realistic with ourselves. We need to set boundaries and try to hold those boundaries. We will give ourselves a little grace because we're not perfect and we're only human. But I think having an allowance and a budget in mind pre-Halloween season helps us try to stay, in touch with what our reality is and what we actually are able to spend. So one of Mandy Spoof's tips that she has shared in one of her previous videos that I love this idea. This is her idea. So she was sharing that she likes to get gift cards ahead of time. So for example, if you're going to go to Marshall's, you might get yourself a $50 gift card, and that's all you can spend for that Halloween season. Go ahead and pre-purchasing gift cards, it helps you stay within the bounds of your budget because you're not just swiping a debit card or a credit card. That is the allotted amount of money that you have to spend in that store. Talk about quality versus quantity, especially with Halloween season. I feel like there's this almost need to have more whenever we really don't need those things, or we're just buying it for the sake of buying it. So let's talk about quality versus quantity. I personally like to try to invest things that are quality pieces I know are going to last a long time, that I'm going to use for many years, versus just buying a bunch of random stuff that I don't really need. Maybe that's something that we can think about while we're shopping. Is this a good quality item? Is this something that I can use in my home? Is this something that's going to last a long time? Or is this something that I'm probably not going to get much use out of? With that being said, the next tip is less can be more. Sometimes the most effective decorating and decor pieces that I have seen is not a whole lot of stuff, just less is more. So think about that. Less is more, possibly, if that is your decorating style. And some people are maximalists, and that's totally okay too. So while online shopping, I like to browse and let it sit in the cart, because sometimes I'll come back to it and I'll be like, what was I thinking? I don't really want that. I don't really need that. So sometimes just letting it sit there and thinking about it helps us really decide if that's something that we need or not, because we have some time to think about it, and there really is no rush. And also, just a fun little tip is that sometimes if you let something sit in your cart for a little while, sometimes either the store or the company will send you a coupon code to help send that last little push on you to try to buy the item. So sometimes sitting and waiting on an item can be beneficial because sometimes you can get a discount that way as well. Another idea I thought would be really fun to do one year is having a decor swap, where you and your friends just gather at somebody's house or wherever you want to go and have a decor swap where you bring like a handful of Halloween items or things that you don't need anymore, and you can swap amongst each other and just have a little decor swap with Halloween stuff. I think that would be a really fun way to share decor and get new things and get rid of some things that you're not needing anymore, and also just building community and having a really fun time together. Purpose your decor. Sometimes I find myself like, what is this doing here? What am I going to do with this? Or something that I've outgrown and just aren't a fan of anymore, I'll repurpose it, whether I redecorate it or reuse it for something else or restyle it. That's something that I've typically found myself doing, is restyling and repurposing what I already have. And I like to call it shopping my decor. So whenever the time comes and I get all my Halloween buckets out and all my totes, it feels like I'm shopping within what I already have. So that's another thing to do, is repurpose and reuse what you already have. Self-doing without realizing it is I've created sort of like a capsule Halloween collection. So I have a handful of things that are like my capsule statement pieces. These are things that I'm going to keep for a while. And so I kind of build around those pieces instead of just getting like random stuff that doesn't really go together or flow together. So by having like a capsule like wardrobe but with decorations, like capsule decorations, this helps me keep in mind my actual decor style and the things that I really enjoy, and kind of going off of those things. But atmosphere versus decorations. Something that I think is really impactful when decorating is like lighting, the scents that you use, the music, the sounds that you have. Creating an atmosphere, I think, is more impactful than just having a bunch of stuff around. So like having mood lighting, having candlelit, having like some Halloween background music going. I think these are the things that I think about whenever I'm thinking about Halloween decorating season, and these are the things that my memory likes to keep at the forefront of my mind. So creating an atmosphere for Halloween decorating. So keep in mind to shop small businesses this spooky season. As a small business owner, I know how it is. It is a really hard time to have a small business. So keep that in mind whenever you're thinking about going to the big box stores. I myself still shop at big box stores, but I know that small businesses appreciate our business more than they could ever express. And I know that shopping small and shopping local, it makes a huge impact for those owners. And so that's just something to keep in mind, is maybe trying to source some items that you like from a small business, or swapping out something from the big box store for a creator or a maker of Halloween decorations. Last tip is, from the bottom of my heart, something that I needed to hear over the last few years. And so that is why I saved this for last. Because when Halloween and Code Orange season comes, there is the tendency for overconsumption with videos that are hauls or people sharing their Halloween decorations, things like that. It is really fun and it's really exciting. I myself like to create those videos and I like to watch those videos. But if I'm being honest, sometimes it's too much. It's overstimulating. I find myself falling into the comparison trap or FOMO. I have a fear of missing out. And so whenever I start to feel like that, I like to take a pause by either pausing all my apps or muting accounts or unfollowing accounts that I feel like are making me feel this way, and just taking a break from that kind of content. Because there's nothing worth blowing your budget over. Halloween is fun, it's a season, it's a holiday, it's a magical time of the year, but it's not worth having those kinds of feelings over. It's just not. That way I like to take a pause and get some perspective and really remember what Halloween is about, and that is the magic that it brings to our homes and the community that it has given me and to others through the spooky community and the Halloween community and their own community, our local community with our friends and our family. It's a really great fun bonding experience. It's for memory making and magic. And so it's not as serious as all that. Decorations come and go. At the end of the day, we can't take it with us. And so there's nothing more important than actually feeling the Halloween magic and not stuff. Like I said, we can't take it with us. It's really not that serious at the end of the day. It's fun, but there's nothing that is more important than your mental health. So whether you need to take a pause from my channel or other channels or from social media altogether, or whatever that may look like for you for however long, I encourage you to do that, because I don't want you to miss out on what Halloween is really about and the magic that it can bring us. So that is my last tip for you, and to have fun. Halloween's fun, and I just want you to enjoy it, and I wanted to enjoy it. And season 2025 is going to be a great time, and I can't wait to share it with you. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe on your way out. And as always, I hope you have a magical day.